Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you at the start of another week. I hope you all had a great weekend. Apologies first of all, no video from me over the weekend. Not often I get a whole weekend off to spend it with a family, so I did just that. I hope you all had a good time, whatever it was you were doing, celebrating Mother's Day, treating your wife or your mum to a lovely dinner, whatever you were doing. I hope you had a great time and kind of enjoyed a little bit of a downtime away from Arsenal, because let's face it, from next weekend onwards, or Monday night onwards, it is going to be all hell to the leather when it comes to Arsenal and trying to get over the line in this tense, exciting race for the Champions League. We are sort of approaching home straight territory now, and once this international break is over, it's all going to be all systems go until the end of the season. Nervous times ahead, exciting times though as well. Nice to be in contention for something at this stage of the season, isn't it? Which probably at the start of the season we weren't expecting too much. So that is good to see. Just wanted to, there's not that much news going around at the moment. Obviously, it's a bit of a downtime. Everyone's focused on the internationals. Arsenal players have been doing pretty well in the internationals, which I will talk about later on in this video. But there's a rumour going around at the moment. I call it a rumour, speculation, some news stories, certainly from Spain, that Real Madrid are interested in Kieran Tierney. Price tag of 50 million has been mooted possible for Kieran Tierney at Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti believed to be a big fan of Tierney. I think when Arsenal signed Tierney, I seem to remember that Everton were interested in him as well. And I probably should have looked at this before I started the video, but I think back then maybe Carlo was in charge of Everton at that point. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting one. It's first of all, how much I can't sit here right now and say that these are true then or they're not true. These rumours, these are just reports that are emanating from Spain. I've certainly not heard anything myself from them, but I just thought it was an interesting bit of sort of news to discuss, really, because I'm doing a piece that's coming out fairly soon with Nick Hornby, who some of you might know, some of you might not. But he's a famous author, big Arsenal fan. He wrote Fever Pitch, an absolute classic book that was turned into a film. I'm doing something on that film actually with him, a piece that's going to go on goal fairly soon. But I was talking to him just about Arsenal during that interview, and he was saying, it was really interesting. He said, I don't feel like we're close to losing any of our big stars or our best players now. And during the latter years of Wenger, that was never the case. You always felt that we had about 3 or 4 good players in the team, and at the end of the season 2 or 3 of those might go. But he was saying, I don't feel like we're at that stage now, which is a positive, and it's it's a sign of strength almost, and that the rebuild's going well. And I thought of that comment from him as I was reading this stuff about Kieran Tierney, and it just made me think, really, that you just can't be You can't be selling at this stage, I don't think, if you're Arsenal. Any of your big players. I don't think they would sell Kieran Tierney anyway, barring a ridiculous offer. Say Madrid offered something that you just can't say no to, 100 million, something like that. Obviously, you have to think about that as a business first and foremost. But if it was just a regular sort of offer for a fullback, a top-level fullback, which Kieran Tierney is, a really important first-team fullback, which Kieran Tierney is, then if you're Arsenal, you just wouldn't even consider it at this stage, would you? It's just something that you wouldn't do when you're building, like Arsenal clearly are doing. They're building this squad. They're putting an awful lot of time into this squad. You just don't want to be seen as a selling club anymore, do you? If you want to be taken seriously again, which Arsenal absolutely 100% does, Mikel Arteta 100% does. That's his main aim, is that he wants to get Arsenal back to where he believed they were. Where they were, definitely over the good times of Arsene Wenger. And to do that, you just can't be selling players that you want to keep. And Kieran Tierney is obviously a very, very important player for Arsenal and for Mikel Arteta. Look, he's the player right now that when Alexander Lacazette goes off, he gets the armband, which you have to think puts him in pole position to be Arsenal's permanent captain this time at the end of the season. When Alexander Lacazette leaves, or if he leaves, we think he will, but if he does, then Arsenal need a full-time captain. And the fact that Kieran is now getting that captaincy, getting that armband every time Lacazette goes off, you would suggest he is absolutely in pole position to be that man. And so you just wouldn't sell, would you? It just send out entirely the wrong message. At Arsenal are now, they're building, we know that, they've done it. The last few transfer windows have slowly built. This transfer window is all going to be about transforming the attack again. We know that, potentially a central midfielder as well. But what you just don't want to be doing is kind of undoing some of that hard work you spent the last couple of years doing by, bringing in top quality players and filling those positions, and then suddenly selling to, even if it is a Madrid, that in latter, certainly in the last 15 years, Arsenal would normally do this, wouldn't they? They would sell to a Madrid or Barcelona. They'd have to financially. But I think if you want to be taken seriously now, as I said, Arsenal do, then this is just something you wouldn't go for. You wouldn't sell a player who would make your starting 11. You just can't do it. And I know some people point to, Liverpool did it when they were building under Klopp. They sold Coutinho. But again, that's where I go back to. If someone made a stupid offer for Tierney, then you would have to consider it. If you're going into potentially £100 million or something like that. And that's what Barcelona did for Coutinho. Yes, he was an amazing player, but still, they offered money that basically Liverpool just couldn't say no to. And in the end, it was a brilliant deal for Liverpool. It's gone on to be proved that. We've seen it. And what they did was transformational in terms of allowing them to go out and spend that money on improving in just superbly. Alisson, going out and spending 80 million on Alisson, whatever it was, which was just a brilliant piece of business. But I mean, if 50 million for Kieran Tierney, you're not going to be able to do that. It's not transformative money. That's just buy a replacement money. And for me, that's just not where Arsenal are right now. And I know people have said, I've seen some reports or some fans commenting on the report saying, "Oh, he's not had a great season. Kieran Tierney, sell now, bring in Nuno Tavares." And that just doesn't cut it for me either. Tavares I think he's shown signs of being a decent signing or a decent player, and I think he's definitely been a decent signing for the money. But you don't go out now and just get rid of Kieran Tierney and start playing Nuno Tavares as your left back. It's just not the case. And I know Tierney hasn't been brilliant at times this season. I think he's struggled a little bit, like a lot of players who are involved in the Euros last summer have. But he's still a very, very good defender. He's still very, very young, and he's probably going to be Arsenal captain. So it's just not the type of thing. If Madrid did come knocking for Tierney in the summer, for me, it's one you absolutely just go, no, thank you, move on, not for sale. Let me know what you guys think. Do Arsenal now, to continue progressing, to go to the very next level, which we all want Arsenal to do, and hopefully this summer they're going to be able to do. To do that, do you have to now say we are not a selling club? We will not sell our best players unless someone offers something stupid. And if, say, Madrid did offer 50 million for Kieran Tierney, is that a price that you consider stupid for Kieran Tierney? Would you accept 50 million for Kieran Tierney from Real Madrid? I'm always interested to hear your views. I've had my say on the subject. For me, it's an absolute no-go. It's continue to build now. Don't sell. Arsenal can't be a selling club anymore. Go on, add to the squad this summer with the players you need, get the forwards you need, potentially get midfielder in, and that's your lot. You don't want to be undoing the hard work that you've done recently by selling one of your best players. So that's my view on the subject. So elsewhere, actually quickly, just a couple of other rumours going around. Marcus Rashford, he was all over the back pages yesterday, or certainly I think it was the Mirror. And there's rumours about Lautaro Martinez again, Arsenal being in for Martinez. And it's just obviously making me think about the summer. I'm dreading the transfer window. I hate the transfer window. I know it's fun, kind of, in a way. It's interesting to see who you link with, who Arsenal end up signing, and that's always great. But as a reporter, it's absolutely exhausting. And just these stories that are now beginning to come out has already made me start thinking about, oh God, we're only a couple of months away from football finishing and the window starting, and then just the whole pressure that brings of being a reporter during the transfer window. Rashford, I have to say, for me, and this is just me talking about opinion, I wouldn't be totally against Arsenal signing Marcus Rashford or going for Marcus Rashford if Man United decide it's time to move on, if he decides it's time to move on from United. I think Rashford's actually a very good player, and he's definitely struggled at bits this season, but United are a bit of a mess, aren't they? And he's not the only player struggling in that squad at the moment, and it kind of feels like Rashford needs a bit of a new lease of life. And I think when it comes to Arsenal and the strikers, they're going to get signed an out forward, but I think the second forward they're going to sign is probably going to be one of those, I don't know what you call them, hybrid type forwards who can play, out wide, centre forward on the other flank, just a bit of a utility man, which I think Marcus Rashford ticks the boxes to do it now. I think he wants to be in number 9. And in a way that might be why he's potentially looking to leave Man United. But I have to say, if there is any substance in that rumour, and again, it is too early for me, and it's not one that I've heard of. But if there is substance to that speculation, I actually wouldn't be totally against Marcus Rashford signing. I think he's a very good player, and I think he's got an awful lot more to give. I think he provides the kind of pace that you want. I think he's a good finisher when he's on song, and I think Mikel Arteta could absolutely get the very best out of Marcus Rashford. So I wouldn't be against it, I have to say. I don't like signing players from rivals because we all know it's been awful, really, for Arsenal in recent years, and history it doesn't tend to lie. So when it's happened once or happened twice, probably happened about 5 times actually with Arsenal. We've just seen it recently with Willian from Chelsea, who you thought was absolutely nailed on to be a pretty good signing. It doesn't tend to work out. But I think with this one, with Rashford, his age and his ability and Arteta's potential to work with him, I don't think that would be too bad a one. I like Lautaro Martinez as well. I wouldn't say no to him. I know he's struggled a little bit in the Champions League this year, but I still think he's a good striker. He wouldn't be my first choice, I have to say, when it comes to the forward line. I know plenty of you now are going to ask who is your first choice to be Arsenal's new striker next summer. And to be honest, I haven't settled on one yet, and that's not me sitting on the fence. I'm just not sure who I'd like to see. There are plenty of them. Obviously, I'd love to see Erling Haaland at Arsenal. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. He would absolutely be my first choice if it was possible. But even though Odegaard and him are very, very tight, and I know Twitter likes to act like it is possible, well, I think we all know that one's out of the realms of possibility when it comes to Arsenal. But other forwards, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be exciting. It's always exciting, isn't it? When you're signing strikers, it's always exciting. It's always exciting when you sign any player, but a striker, the guy is going to hopefully get you the goals that can turn you from good to great, and that is always an exciting. So it is going to be an exciting transfer window, although, as I said, it's going to be very, very stressful. So internationally, it's been quite a good international break for Arsenal players. Actually, quite a few players have scored. Nicolas Pepe, we spoke about, scored that very, very good goal for Ivory Coast, which was good. Gabriel Martinelli made his debut. I thought Granit Xhaka played well for Switzerland against England. Ben White got a bit of criticism for the Switzerland goal, which I thought was a little bit harsh. It was just a very good cross. It was too high for him. I'm not sure what he was supposed to do. He can't grow as the ball comes in. He can't make himself any taller to win that. It was just a really good cross, just a fraction over his head. And I know some people look at it so he got caught under the ball. It's like, well, he did, but it was just a very good cross to the striker who was. So I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and hammer Ben White for that. I thought he played pretty well. What I saw of the game, I didn't see it all, but what I saw of the game. Kieran Tierney obviously scored. Martin Odegaard, brilliant goal from Odegaard for Norway. He scored. Xhaka, El Neni, Partey, Martinelli all played. So yeah, good international break for Arsenal. No Emile Smith Rowe in that England game, but hopefully he will be involved against Ivory Coast and against Nicolas Pepe when England play the Ivory Coast later on in the week. Smith Rowe is back in training now after missing large chunks of it for when he was away with England at the start of last week. So hopefully he might get a bit of a run out for England in that game against Ivory Coast. Obviously, Aaron Ramsdale has gone back to Arsenal with his injury, and Bukayo Saka went back as well after testing positive for COVID. So kind of mixed news when it came to Arsenal's England players during the international break. And it's been a bit frustrating for Smith Rowe so far, but hopefully he will get some game time against Ivory Coast. And hopefully Nicolas Pepe can continue his good form that he's shown. A brilliant goal he scored against France in that game when William Saliba made his debut, and Matteo Guendouzi got an assist for that one, crossing in the corner for the late winner. So good day all round for the Arsenal players involved in that France versus Ivory Coast game. France in action again on Tuesday night. Interesting to see if Saliba gets any more game time. Big moment for him in that game when he came on in the second half against Ivory Coast. And that's about it from me. Thank you very much for watching. As always, bit of a ramble today, really, on today's video. But I just wanted to go over my opinion on a couple of the news, rumours, speculation, whatever you want to call them, doing the rounds at the moment when it comes to Arsenal. I think Mikel's press conference this week is on Thursday ahead of the game against Palace, which is on the Monday night. So quite a long way in advance ahead of that game, that press conference. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And any other news that happens between now and then I will bring it to you as usual on my social media channels and on goal.com. Have a very good day, everyone. Have a good start to the week. I'll speak to you soon.